In 1946, one of the greatest baseball players ever retired after almost 25 years as a pro. No, it wasn't Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, or any other star you've probably heard of. The man was James "Cool Papa" Bell, star of the Pittsburgh Crawfords of the Negro League. The Negro League was the name of the league where all black players were forced to play until 1947, when Major League Baseball became integrated. The Negro League had some of the best players never to be appreciated, and Cool Papa Bell headed that list. Many say that Bell was the fastest player ever to play the game. This could very well be true. He led the league in stolen bases almost every year he played until he retired at age 41.
By 1900, Major League Baseball, like most American institutions, was racially segregated. A decision had to be made to bar African American players and teams, maintaining that only whites could uphold the gentlemanly character of baseball. The white argument was that excluding blacks would prevent racial resentment and avoid a rupture on political grounds. Because of this, African Americans formed their own community of baseball called the Negro Leagues. In 1885, the Cuban Giants formed the first black professional baseball team. Their success led to the creation of the first recognized Negro League in 1887, which was strictly a minor league and founded with 6 different teams. The Negro Leagues formed an important community for African Americans, which Cool Papa Bell and other African Americans were a huge part of. The Negro Leagues would never have been a threat to Major League Baseball had it not been for people like Andrew Ruth Foster opening doors for rebuilding African American baseball. African American baseball was much more than a mere game played for entertainment. It was a sense of belonging. This was especially true for the players, who were on the roster of Composie's Homestead Grays and Gus Greenlee's Pittsburgh Crawfords. These 2 teams were the game changers of the Negro Leagues, bringing players like Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and Cool Papa Bell onto the baseball diamond. The Negro League community wouldn't last long, though, with the idea of integration starting to look like a possibility rather than something that would never happen. A man named Branch Rickey had big plans for both the Major and Negro Leagues that included breaking the color line of baseball. At first glance, this seemed like an accomplishment because African Americans would finally be able to play among the whites, something that had always been well deserved. But this also meant that the strong and the vibrant community built by African Americans would be disintegrated. Cool Papa Bell was never comfortable with integration. He was perfectly happy with living in a community where he was accepted, loved, and known by everyone around him. Jackie Robinson, a young baseball player from Georgia, wasn't satisfied with the community. Instead, he wanted to break the barriers, putting him in the spotlight with Branch Rickey as a prime candidate for integration. It was around that time that Bell knew he needed to back away from baseball so people like Robinson could shine through the process of integration.
Did the fellows who played in the Negro Leagues think about sometimes playing in the Major Leagues, or was that just so far removed that you never thought it was possible?
Removed. We didn't never had any thoughts of that. That when something didn't come across your mind, you just didn't think about that. But we heard a lot of people say someday maybe you'll be playing in Major League Baseball.
Did you feel badly about it? Did you say to yourself in the middle of your career, I can play better than almost all these guys?
No, I never did say anything about it. It didn't bother me about whether I played or not. If they give me a chance to play, I'll just get out there and do the best I can do.
The success of integration left extraordinary players like Cool Papa Bell in the lost generation of players to never gain enough recognition for their contribution to baseball. This should not be the case. A player like Bell should be remembered not only for his ability to play the game, but for his ability to recognize that the Negro League community was special and that it challenged the major leagues to see the threat of a talented group of players. Because Bell was willing to step back and allow people like Robinson to open the doors of integration, he reshaped American baseball into something that should constantly be known by society.